For a week now, I haven't closed my eyes. The hours stretch endlessly, and the silence of the night feels like torture. My name is Claire. I'm 34, married for almost 10 years to Mark, 41, a man I once admired for his stability and seriousness. But for months now, he's been slipping away. He's distant, slowly, almost imperceptibly, but I feel it. In bed, he always says he's too tired after long days at the office. His kisses have become rare, his caresses absent. And the most troubling thing is the strange bond he shares with Anna, our housekeeper. She's cheerful, helpful, and I never had a problem with her. Until I noticed their glances, their laughter, their quiet conversations. Little things, but little things that add up. A seed of doubt has taken root in me, and that doubt won't let me sleep. Each time Mark comes home late, each time he sighs that he's too exhausted to touch me, my mind poisons itself with images I don't even want to describe. I haven't dared confront him directly. Instead, I chose another path. I told Anna to only come on weekends, pretending it was to save money. Mark knows nothing of this, and I hoped distance would silence my suspicions. But what I was about to discover, what was about to happen that night, would shatter my life irreversibly. Last Friday, everything changed. Mark seemed nervous, quieter than usual. He barely touched his dinner, claiming stomach discomfort. We went to bed early, and like every night, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Around 2 in the morning, he woke up complaining of stomach pains. Without another word, he went to the bathroom. My heart started racing, and suddenly, an idea, reckless and insane, gripped me. I needed to know. I needed proof. So, when I heard the bathroom door close, I made a wild decision. I tiptoed down the hallway, opened Anna's room. It was empty. She wasn't supposed to be there. The bed was neatly made, untouched. That's when the thought struck me. I undressed, piece by piece, my breath shallow. Naked, I slid under her sheets. I turned off the light and waited, my heart beat so loud I feared it would give me away. My plan was madness, but I told myself, if Mark comes here, then I'll have my answer. And if not, no one would ever know. But what happened next would spin completely out of control. A few minutes later, I heard footsteps in the hall. Heavy, hesitant. My whole body tensed. The handle turned, and the door opened. Someone came in slowly, as if familiar with the place. They didn't turn on the light. I froze, holding my breath. Then, the mattress sank under their weight. Warmth pressed near me, fingers searching in the dark. When he slid under the sheets, I nearly fainted. But I didn't pull away. Instead, I waited. And suddenly, his hand found me. His lips brushed mine, and our bodies pressed together. It was urgent, rough, but so real. I didn't resist. I surrendered. We made love, with an intensity one hadn't felt in months. The sighs, the movements, the heat, carried me away from doubt, away from fear. When the climax ripped through me, I felt alive again, as if a void in me had finally been filled. For a moment, I thought of nothing. No Mark, no suspicion, nothing but this fire. But when it was over, as I caught my breath, I stood up, determined to confront my husband. I switched on the lamp and demanded, "Mark, what are you doing in the housekeeper's bed?" And then, I saw his face. It wasn't Mark. My heart skipped a beat. My eyes took seconds to adjust to the light. Lying there, shirtless, still breathing hard, was Daniel, our caretaker. I froze, unable to process. He looked at me, confused, stammering. I didn't know it was you." His words pierced me like ice. It was a nightmare made flesh. How had I ended up here? What had I done? Shame surged in me, violent and overwhelming. I scrambled for my clothes, hands trembling so hard I fumbled every button. He stayed there, silent, eyes averted, though I could tell he was just as unsettled. I stumbled back into the hallway. It felt endless, each step echoing with the weight of my mistake. I threw myself into bed beside Mark, who slept peacefully, unaware of what had just happened. My eyes filled with tears, but I made no sound. All night, I stayed awake, replaying it again and again. And the worst part, it wasn't just the shame. It was the memory of pleasure. Since that night, I haven't slept. My mind spins in endless circles, like a trap. I should feel dirty, ruined, unable to face Daniel. But that's not what haunts me. What tortures me is that I liked it, that I came alive in his arms. My body craves what he gave me, and I despise that truth. Every morning, I catch glimpses of him outside, working in the yard. He avoids my eyes, but in his silence lies the weight of our burning secret. Mark, meanwhile, notices nothing, or pretends not to. He comes home late, complains about long days, rolls over in bed. He doesn't suspect that his wife, just a few steps away, is consumed with desire for another man. I fight it. I pray to forget. But at night, when I close my eyes, it's Daniel's hands I feel, his warmth, his breath. And the more I resist, the more I fall. Because deep down, a voice whispers, I want to do it again. And I know, if I give in once more, it'll be the end of everything. One evening, I found him near the garage. He was fixing a lamp with his tools. His arms tensed under effort, and my pulse raced without my consent. He noticed me. Our eyes met, and the air thickened with electricity. Not a word was spoken, yet in that silence, everything was said. I wanted to run, but my feet stayed rooted. That same reckless pull from the other night coursed through me. Like a drug, an addiction eating me alive. He set down the tool, wiped his hands, then stepped back, as if afraid to cross an invisible line. But his eyes betrayed him. He wanted me as much as I wanted him. I fled, my heart pounding out of control. But that night, lying next to a husband asleep, I thought only of him. Daniel. His name echoed in my head, both guilt and salvation. I imagined his arms around me, his lips, and I knew I was trapped in my own fantasies. If another chance came, I wouldn't resist. And yet, I longed for it. Like longing for the fall. That chance came sooner than expected. Mark left on a business trip for 3 days, and the house suddenly felt empty. Too empty. Daniel went about his tasks, and I wandered aimlessly, restless. On the second night, it happened. I found him in the kitchen, fixing a fuse. We were alone, our eyes locked, and this time, I didn't hesitate. I placed my hand on his, and he didn't pull away. Minutes later, we were in my bedroom. My bed. The very bed where Mark slept every night. There was no mistake this time. I knew who he was. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I wanted it. We came together with abandon, as if the world outside ceased to exist. I let myself be swept away, without restraint, without fear. I rediscovered the intensity I'd been starving for, sharpened by the thrill of forbidden fire. Afterward, I lay breathless in his arms, and a terrible thought crossed me. I'll never be able to stop now. From then on, there was no turning back. Every time Mark was gone became an opportunity. Every lie, a cover. Daniel and I lived a secret passion. Volatile, dangerous, addictive. We exchanged burning glances in hallways, fleeting touches, and when the chance arose, our bodies ignited. I knew I was betraying my husband, destroying my marriage. But I couldn't stop. It was stronger than me, a consuming flame. I even began wishing Mark would travel more, stay away longer. Every day, without him, became a night with Daniel. But alongside desire, grew fear. The fear of discovery. Every lie choked me. Every detail risked exposure. I became nervous, distant, and Mark noticed. His questions grew sharper, his stares heavier. One night, he asked, "Claire, are you hiding something from me?" I denied it, of course, but his eyes seemed to pierce through me, and I knew, someday, everything would explode. Mark wasn't a fool. He felt something was wrong. He started coming home earlier, watching me. His silence pressed heavier than any shout. I tried to act normal, but my hands shook when I served dinner. I stumbled over words, avoided his gaze. Daniel noticed too. One evening, he said in a grave voice, "We have to be careful. He'll find out eventually." But I couldn't cut him off. It was too late. I was caught in a spiral where each encounter made me crave him more. Mark began questioning Anna, the housekeeper, about my habits when he was away. I saw suspicion in every glance he cast. The tension in the house became unbearable, and I felt the end looming, like a storm you see on the horizon, but can't escape. One evening, it all came crashing down. Mark pretended to leave on a trip, but came back early, unannounced. Daniel was still with me. We were in the living room, too close, too intimate. When the door opened, Mark's face appeared. His eyes froze, and in that instant, everything collapsed. I jumped up, panicked, stammering excuses. But his gaze never left me. Cold rage. Deep, raw hurt. Daniel tried to speak, but Mark shoved him out of the house. Then he turned to me. His silence screamed louder than any words. And I had nothing to say. because there was nothing to defend. The following days were hell. Mark didn't shout. He didn't insult me. He ignored me. That silence was worse than violence. I tried to explain, to speak. But how do you explain the inexplicable? How do you justify such betrayal? He moved into another room. We lived under the same roof as strangers. Anna avoided me. Daniel was gone, and I drowned in the loneliness I'd created. Every night, I wept, begging silently for forgiveness, though I knew it would never come. Then, one morning, he placed papers in front of me. Divorce. His eyes were dry cold, mine filled with tears, but he didn't waver. He had already moved on. Today, I live alone. The house feels empty, frozen. No laughter, no trace of Mark's scent on the sheets. He's gone, along with everything that gave my life meaning. I am nothing but a shadow, a woman broken by her own weakness. Daniel? He never sought me out again. He vanished, as if I'd never mattered. I was just an affair, a mistake he erased. And me? I'm left with memories. Nights of forbidden pleasure that cost me everything. Sometimes, I close my eyes, and I see Mark's face that night. That look of disgust, of betrayal. It haunts me more than anything. I thought I was filling a void, but I dug a grave. Now, I live alone with my shame. Forever.